Welcome to Google Hangout.
Hello, everyone. I am Stacy Slate. I'm the community manager for the Edible Schoolyard Project, and I want to thank everybody for joining our Google Hangout with Stephen Ritz and Ron Finley. I'm also joined by Emily Joya, who is the digital director for the Edible Schoolyard Project. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
A bit about our guests. Steve Ritz is a teacher in the South Bronx of New York. Steve values farming as an education, planting seeds of knowledge, empowerment, academic achievement, and hope within his community. Students of Steve's Green Bronx Machine, born and raised in the poorest congressional district in the country, are learning about food and farming as they become environmental stewards in their community and beyond. Employed students have grown and harvested over 30,000 pounds of produce from mobile edible wall units, green walls, and green roofs, and they earn a living wage while doing it. Steve has also earned a variety of awards for his work and is a Green Apple Ambassador for the Center for Green Schools. Welcome, Steve.
Yay, Steve. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. And we are also joined by Ron Finley, who is an urban farmer and a leader in his South Central LA community. Ron is also co-founder of LA Green Grounds, which is an all-volunteer group that builds gardens with a focus on creating more green and open spaces in South LA, and also serving low-income residents and others with scarce access to fresh, affordable food. In 2011, Ron was cited by the City of Los Angeles Department of Public Works for a garden he was growing on an abandoned public parkway. With an outpour of support from grassroots food advocates, local and not, he had a victory. Los Angeles officials canceled his hearing and allowed him to keep growing his urban garden. Ron, welcome.
Thanks for being here, Ron.
Thank you guys for having us.
We are so excited.
Thank you for putting me this close to the master, you know? Steven.
Nah, man, we're just getting started. I want to reach out and hug.
So, Steve, let's first hear from you. I'm curious to just hear how you explain your work, how your work empowers your community, and what changes have you seen since you've started?
What changes have I seen? Well, we've gotten kids through gardening, through community development work to come to school. And that's probably the biggest thing. So we've gone from 40% attendance to 93% attendance. Next month, I'm going to college graduations. My first cohort is graduating 2-year colleges. That's some cool stuff. We've lost weight. And we are designing a paradigm that is putting the bake sale to shame in ways that make dollars and cents. And here in the South Bronx of America, 30,000 pounds of vegetables later, my favorite crop is organically grown citizens, graduates, members of the middle class, kids who are avoiding that pipeline that goes to a horrible place. And to me, we're just growing awareness, and that's what it's about. And then there's Ron. Oh, my God. Look what he's doing. So we want to connect.
How you guys expect me to go, you know, after this guy? Come on. it's like I remember. It makes me think of when I met Gordon Parks. You know, I don't know if you guys know, he's a photographer, writer. He does everything. He's like the total Renaissance man. So when you meet Gordon, you just feel like, I'm almost nothing. You know, what am I really done in my life? You know, that's how I feel right now.
But what have you seen around you, even just with the people in your community? Is there a transformed sense of feeling around growing food, or is there a larger sentiment around fighting for what you believe in? What is the emotion and also just the actual transformation that's happened since you started growing on parkways?
It's major. It's big. What I've seen is other parkways come into existence. I see people go out of their way just to walk by mine. I mean, we're living in this concrete asphalt, you know, jungle prison, and we're surrounded by food prisons. So it's you see people light up when they see this 12-foot sunflower. You see people that, you know, you don't see butterflies because you don't see these certain insects because you have nothing that attracts them. So when people see this, it takes them back to their childhood. I have people that literally go out of their way to go to work. They walk down my street to get on because the subway is like, the train is right in front of my house. Or they'll drive down the street, and you know, it's almost like they're in a small world in Disneyland. They just do that slow drive by to just try to take everything in. No, it's major, major, major. People, I get to educate people on what a plant is outside of the store, because a lot of people, they don't realize what something is unless it's in the store on the shelf and has a label on it. So no, and we're changing people's eating habits, and that's the first thing. And to me, it's all about empowering. That's what it is. It's about empowering. And,
absolutely. I mean, I could not. I'm sitting here. You can't. If I were to nod anymore, I'd get dizzy looking at myself in the screen. But what we're really doing is, first of all, it's green graffiti. And, you know, neighborhoods like ours, whether it be the South Bronx or South Central, these are toxic neighborhoods. So who the hell really wants to get out and take a nice brisk walk in a toxic neighborhood? But when you change landscapes, you change mindsets, because kids aspire to things that they never saw or imagined before. And that's transformational. And then more importantly, Ron talked about the prison thing. Well, when you create aspirational places, who are the real valuable members of our society? And aside from everybody, who keeps the order in my community? Grandma. So when you create a comfortable place for grandma to come out, guess what? We need less police, because we're policing ourselves. And that, to me, is the most important thing. We are creating aspirational places out of forgotten spaces. In essence, we're the canaries in the coal mine. So, you know, how many years later, the biggest thing challenging facing not only our country but the world is education and the environment. So when we, at the ground roots, take hold of this, we're going to change things.
Yeah, but don't you feel that it's almost like our neighborhoods are under siege, Steve? Don't you feel like most of this shit, don't you feel like it's by design? I mean, it's like if somebody like me, you know, could like, oh, you want water over here, put it over there. Is that why is it so hard for them to change this? I mean, to me, I think this whole system is made up to facilitate other industrial complexes. And I think, like you said, they've proven that you put green spaces up, the crime rate drops. You know, so that's what I think is about. They know this, man.
Are you? Did I lose you guys? I hope not.
No, you're there.
Okay, great. I mean, you're touching on a lot of the bigger, larger issues that are kind of systemic. But at the end of the day, for me, in my community, food is a non-negotiable. So when you can engage kids in healthy eating habits in school, I'm getting such a bang for my buck. And that's a game changer. And you know, listen, we're waiting. I'm not waiting for anybody anymore. It's guys like me and Ron who are doing it. We're just concerned citizens. And if I can do it, he can do it, we can do it. You know why? Because we are Americans. We are Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, African Americans. And this is our moment. In World War II, we were able to grow half the food we need in this country in our front yards. Why can't we do it now? Cheap food is so damn expensive, and it's killing all of us, and it's killing this nation. So to think that we redefine the world, to me, is rather exciting.
But that's why I think it's by design. They know what this food is doing, and they're setting it up in these certain neighborhoods. You go to places like where I'm at, you know, Brentwood, you know, if you go to, you know, even places like Pasadena, Beverly Hills, they don't have these multitude of these fast food restaurants sitting on every corner. And to me, it's those restaurants right there, they're supporting the medical industrial complex. You know, it's like they're killing you slowly, you know, and these people don't know it, but you know, damn, you got $1 meal, you know, hey, I got 3 kids. What I'm gonna do? But what I found, Steve, I mean, I got 30-year-olds, dude, that don't even know how to use a shovel. So we've allowed people to become just clogs in the system, and they don't even know that they're a clog in the system. That's why I talk about in the TED. That's why I talk about the manufactured reality. They don't even know they're in a they don't know how to step out of line. Like, oh, I can make my own reality, and that's what you're doing, and that's what it changed. These kids like, damn, I don't have to do what my father did. I don't have to do I don't have to slang. I don't have to do. I can get an education and still be cool as hell. That's fly. You know, a lot of these kids, I had a teacher at Washington Preps tell me that some kids get into trouble and go to jail, but right before they graduate because they scared. And I'm like, and she's been in the. You telling me, right? Is that I can't even conceive anything like that, man. You know, that you rather be in jail, in prison, than to be out on the street. It's insane to me, you know.
It's a crazy world we live in. But again, I was just so inspired by what you're doing. And I'm just one guy trying to make a difference. You're one guy trying to make a difference. I think, you know, in the 60s and 70s, we saw communities like ours redlined by banks. Right. And what we're doing is we're greenlining them. And green lining is good. So green is the new black. And that's what I'm all about. And that's why I want to build a green line from New York to Los Angeles. I believe that we can do that in our lifetime. We can build a parkway of green, whether it's symbolic or the equivalent of the 5,000, 6,000 miles that it is. Imagine what we could do for awareness, for kids, for seniors, for veterans, giving people aspirational places to come and do what they do best. Yeah. Grow food, grow health, grow awareness, and grow community. Because at the end of the day, I mean, the miracle about all this, you put a seed in the ground, it's going to grow. There's very little you can do wrong. And that to me is rather remarkable. That's the big money solution. Follow nature. I tell everybody, everybody is a gardener. And I tell people, if you're religious and you really want to take it back, the first position, the first job was, hey, dude, take care of my garden. But, you know, kind of leave that girl over there, you know, don't touch her, but take care of my garden. That was the first position. So it's in our DNA. We're soil, and that we're bacteria, you know. And I think people lose track. And I'm sure you've seen when you put some of these badass kids in the garden, how they all of a sudden, it just changes everything about them being in the soil. And it's almost like funny looking at it because it's something, you know, you can't, I mean, how do you explain that? You know, now it's like my solace being there. So I can't, I mean, I could be in the garden all day, period, you know.
Ron, can you, I'm sorry to interrupt, but just to have you
go on about... We know you guys are there, we're sorry.
Oh, no, it's just fun to hear you.
I mean, this man just inspired me so much.
Yeah, well, you all are inspiring us both, but I just was wondering if you could cite a couple of examples of some of the youth or maybe even some of the families that have gotten involved in your first project or other Parkway projects where you've really seen them, an individual sort of take that on and move forward in life. Like Steve was talking about, a number of students graduating, going on to college. Can you give an example of something you want to shout out as this is really possible for people, for, you know, at risk? I hate that term. I know it's overused, but urban youth.
Yeah, I don't really, because my thing is, if you're a child, if you're in Bed-Stuy or you're in Beverly Hills, you're at risk. Period. If you're a child, and right now in this society, you're at risk. And I'm really tired of that at-risk shit. I'm tired of everybody. We all at risk. You know, right now we're under siege, and these neighborhoods, they need triage, and we have to do the triage ourselves. They're not the guys on the white horses and the big old trucks with they're not coming. We have to do it.
They left the building. They're like, yo.
So no, I've seen. I mean, I've seen families. People want this. We went from, you know, getting 20 volunteers to sign up to over 450 people that want. We got people that want to pay to participate, to volunteer, and we got people getting mad because we only have this little place to do, you know, and all of a sudden you can't use that many people. People want to take their health back, and I'm seeing it all the time. But you have these kids that have been raised on these red flaming Cheetos and all this stuff that I can't even pronounce that's in these ingredients. So they don't even know what real food tastes like. So it's a challenge because what we both have to do, we're changing culture, and that's hard. Changing culture is hard as hell. They've already, first of all, you have to change. You got change the culture, but now we've developed this fast food culture on top of the cultural other stuff, BS that they were dealing with. So now that's I mean, it's hard, but you can't stop, but it's hard. But I have seen people, I've just to see people in the garden light up when when they do something, just to see how a child, like Steve said, plant a seed and watch this seed grow and watch it become a plant. Now you're a part of this. You're a part of this process, and that's what we all need to share in, is to get back to that process, get back to the soil. But like we have a thing where people are just planting parkways, even though it's against the law. Hopefully it won't be real soon, because we have an amendment to the ordinance in City Hall today that's supposed to be voted on. But it's going to change. It has to change. I mean, we have to get back to being a society, a government of the people. And like Steve said, we got to do it. They ain't doing. We already saw what you're doing for us. We already see what you're doing to our schools. All of us, you got money this quick for wars, but then we got to fire teachers. And if we're the healthiest nation in the world, why aren't we? Why aren't we the healthiest nation in the world? In everything. Why are there people on the street hungry? It shouldn't be.
And even wealthy people. Ron touches on something that's critical, because I hate that term, disconnected or whatever you want. Everybody has somehow become seemingly disconnected. And whether you're poor and disenfranchised, or you're one of those stay-at-home latchkey kids on the Upper East Side where mommy's giving you $50 a day and you're still 200 pounds in 6th grade because you're playing video games. Kids need to be connected to what they eat. And if they grow it, they eat it, and they understand it. And to me, that's the critical thing. And the other thing that farming is really discipline. It's patience. My kids, once they get a sense of this, they want to grow it faster, stronger, better. And that's when you realize that there are certain things you just can't rush, and that things take time. Time is a thing I must earn. And in that time cycle, amazing things happen, because we're being programmed to buy more, get more. I mean, what I want to fast food in, fast food out. It is just insane. So slowing down that process does something that's remarkable. It teaches kids to suspend their judgment, and when they suspend their judgment, they tend to make better decisions. And that's really what I'm here for, to help kids make better decisions. And when you provide them the tools to make better decisions, oh my God, guess what? Inherently, they gravitate towards that. And that's the beauty of what we're doing. There is a spot in our program for everybody, just whether you want to be the one tilling the soil, generating the seeds, clipping the plants, generating the publicity, running a farmer's market. We're putting a bake sale in ways that make dollars and so much more sense. It's insane. And to think we can do it locally, wow. And involve parents. When you involve food and feeding people and culturally relevant food, oh my gosh, it's insane. This is new green graffiti. We talk about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. I like to call it STEAM, art, advocacy, and aspiration, where people are just really taking back their lives and getting back something that's really critical. Family living skills, the art of interaction, the art of really aspiring and patience, which is really going to teach kids far much more than anything I can do.
I agree, Steve, because it goes beyond the garden. The garden, to me, is just a metaphor for life. Like with the kids Steve are teaching, these kids are going to college. A lot of them ain't going to probably be in the field or gardening, but guess what? They have skills that they can do anything now. It just shows you how to roll, how stuff work, how stuff starts. And that's how life starts. And you can take that into any industry, and that's what the garden represents, and that's what he's doing. I mean, it's brilliant. Now, people think I ain't growing, I'm not gonna be in the dirt. It's not about the soil. It's not about the dirt. It's not about the plants. It's about structure, and that's what a lot of these kids, they have no structure. So it's like, no, dude, that don't happen like that. It happens like this. You have to wait for this to happen. So, and that's what it teaches these kids, and they can go anywhere. Because they've learned R&D. They learn the building blocks of how things work.
It's fortitude. It's nurturing. When kids learn about nature, they learn to nurture. And when they learn to nurture, guess what they're doing? They're growing themselves. That's really what it's all about. That's really, to me, what it's all about.
And you're telling me these administrators, you're telling me they don't know this? I mean, come on. All these studies and all these statistics and all these analysts, they can't figure that out. That's why I say it's by design.
And it's remarkable because I know in my own personal trials and tribulations, you know, I was a heavy guy. I was almost 300 pounds, and I did it 99 cents at a pound, 99 cents at a time. It wasn't like I was eating too much fresh food. It was what I was doing that I thought was convenient and easy, and you know, it just was really not manageable. I'm waiting for my health insurance company to send me a big thank you note, but they haven't done that. I'm taking deep on therapy. You know, I don't need high blood pressure medication anymore. I'm saving them a whole lot of money.
Right.
So what is, especially with what you're talking about with time and structure, what is the evolution to empowerment in the ways that you're working? What are the immediate goals that you can identify to get more people involved, see these, you know, programs and people through to a better place? And who needs to be there with you to offer you support, and what support do you need?
That's
Go get him.
Well, what I want to do, one of my visions is to have. I want to take these shipping containers and make them some fly cafes. But the big thing is, I want each of these cafes to be attached to a working garden. That's one side is a community garden, and one side feeds the cafe, which has green roofs, green walls, solar, the whole nine. So this becomes a hub for the community, for people to come to. So you got people hanging out in the garden. You're learning aquaponics. You're learning hydroponics. So it's basically a lab, but it's also you're showing people how to so-called disenfranchised people that might have situations where they can't get jobs now. You're showing them another way. You're showing them how, okay, you can take something from the ground and not just sell it out the ground. You can have this, you can cook some gourmet food, and now you can sell, and now you got money coming in. So you got a couple of ways. You can sell it from the farm stand, you can sell it from the restaurant. And that's what I want to show people, that there's kids, that there's another option rather than the ones that's already set up for them, that they have no idea to set up for them. And that's what I want to do. I want to make this scalable, where it's just, you can put it anywhere around the world. You know, and one of the things I want to do is have like graffiti artists. This would be their cafes, like people like the JRs have, and I talk to him, to have them. This would be their cafe, the JR Cafe, because he'll do the artwork. The Retina Cafe, get these big artists to do the cafe. So now what you created also is commerce in a way. You have in tourism, where you have people that like to go visit the watchtowers because it was designed by an Italian. So you have people that come all the way from Italy just to see the watchtower. The same thing with these artists. You'll have people coming into areas that they usually don't go into because this artist is represented there. And that's one of the things that, and all of this is a training facility. You know?
I mean, he hit the nail right on the head, and it all boils down to a simple thing, is that where we learn matters. You know, and every child, every adult, every community deserves safe, nurturing, healthy, aspirational places. And that's, for example, one of the reasons I'm so thrilled to be involved with the U.S. Green Building Council and the Green Apple Day of Service, the Green Apple Program, because every kid deserves a healthy environment. Every kid deserves a nurturing environment. And the cool thing about this is we could do it now in classrooms. Ron talks about shipping containers. I got tired of farming inside. I had to take it inside because I wanted the kids in school. So that's why I brought the farm onto a wall. But realize with that kind of yield and that kind of productivity in neighborhoods where there's a lot of space, you can do tremendous things. So at the end of the day, you know, just creating awareness is critical. You know, these kind of conversations, of course, are critical because people don't know. Like, you did that? Yeah, I can do that. You're doing that? We can do this. And, you know, I'm not waiting for Superman. I'm waiting for Ron, and he's waiting for me, and I'm waiting for kids, and they're waiting for class. And that's really what it's all about. But organizations that want to drive this, we welcome that, and we welcome support. But at the end of the day, for me, where we learn matters, and every kid deserves a safe, healthy, nurturing environment. It doesn't have to be massive, but it has to be something that a kid could say, hey, I want this, and I want to grow this. I didn't get to 30,000 pounds of vegetables overnight. I started one plant at a time. Trust me. I started one kid at a time. But classrooms can change. And if classrooms change, schools change. Mindsets can change. And if mindsets change, societies change. And closer to home for me, if waistlines change, perceptions change, and that's a beautiful thing. 1 kid at a time, 1 pound at a time, and 1 good meal at a time. And that really, these are very simple but very impactful lessons.
Yeah, self-preservation, self-sufficiency. I mean, is what we have to get back to. I mean, we're in a thing now where we're letting the powers that be dictate what we do, who we are, and how healthy we are. And the whole thing, we have to take that into our own hands, and we have to take the responsibility for that. You know, we have to take the responsibility for our food. Somebody sent me these peas, and you know, because hey, I'm gonna send you some food, but they're peas, but I don't know if you guys can see. They're pink. Let me see, where is that? They're pink. Why are they pink? Because it says dwarf white sugar edible pod snow peas, but when you look on the back, it says here treated with thirum, do not use for food or oil products. Antidote in case of contact, flesh, skin, or eyes with plenty of water, and get medical attention. Why is that on the back of some peas that you're telling me that's edible, but right on the outside of them, you know, you're telling me not to use for feed? This is what we're exposed to every day. This is what people are eating, and they have no idea. You know, this was somebody that sent this to me because, hey, I want to send you some seeds.
With the best of intentions.
Right, with the best intentions, and they don't know. Not only did they send that, they also sent me sweet butter, sugar, hybrid corn. You know,
Wow.
and it's got the same kind of. It's treated with more stuff than the Captain Thyroid, Thirum, Carbox or something. I can't. and again, they're coated, so they're already coated with these chemicals. So this is what it's like, why are these people trying to kill us? Why are they? I mean, it's barbaric to me. I don't even understand it.
That's why we need a green line.
That's why we need what, Steve?
We need a green line from South Central to the South Bronx. I'm telling you, a great line.
Hand me the baton. Hand me the baton.
Speaking of that green line, I'm just wondering, you know, you all have sort of talked about support in your various communities in the city of LA. Hopefully we'll be passing the ability for people to plant parkways, and I know that the New York City boroughs, I don't know, the legislative powers that be in the boroughs, are you feeling like the tides are changing and you are getting more support and more, you know, the people are speaking up more? I mean, are you, since you both started, and are you seeing sort of the tides change there? Is that an encouraging thing? Do you feel like if we keep moving in this direction, we're going to get there? Or do you feel like there really needs to be a lot more, you know, people speaking on your behalf and moving this forward?
It's happening. I see it every day. I see it just by the emails I get. I'm getting emails from North Africa to Norway to East Oakland to South Florida. It's happening, and people want it to happen. And I think with this kind of groundswell and the kind of positive work, you know, that we're doing, especially Stephen, you know, putting up these green walls and having these kids work for the city and all that, it's going to happen. I mean, they're going. It's the same thing with why this ordinance is passing is on the table at City Council in LA right now. Which the whole thing with the moratorium on fast food. You know, did I speak that we had this moratorium on fast food that one of the councilmen wanted lifted, and there was such an outcry from the community. Not only did the supervisors not lift it, they expanded it to all of Los Angeles that you cannot put up a fast food restaurant, a new one. Not only that, they promised we have to bring green spaces here, and some of these vacant lots we want to turn these into food production. We want to turn them into community gardens. That's big for them to even. I mean, it was like they saw my TED talk and scratched it. Maybe that is a good idea. Maybe we should give up this 26.5 square miles of vacant lots and grow food, you know, in place, disenfranchised place, people that we have not really paid any attention to, and it's a big weight on the healthcare. You know, when you can take, like Steve with the weight he lost, people know, these doctors know a lot of times, you change your diet for 9 days, you change your life. And they know that, but they want you here, take this pill for the rest of your life. You know, and that's what they want you to do. We got to change that.
I mean, to me, the tide is definitely changing. When Ron's TED Talk dropped, oh my God, I got more people sending it to me from all over the world to see this guy and see what he's doing than I ever imagined. I mean, the fact that we're having this dialogue today speaks to the fact that there's a need for this. And we need to go from a nation of red states and blue states to a united nation of green states. And together, we can do that. Now, here in the Bronx, I got to tell you, my Bronx borough president, if he was here, I'd kiss him. Because he has been so supportive. And while, listen, there are people who are always going to say no, 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 and are very comfortable with keeping things just the way they are, people in New York City are getting it. So I have the support of my mayor. I have the support of the Board of Ed. Some people support me in some ways. Some people support me in other ways. But this is common sense. And at the end of the day, you cannot defy common sense and good, simple logic. So, yes, the tide is changing. I'm thrilled to be part of this movement, and I really believe we're just getting started. And the best thing of all is that this is a we the people thing. You know, I recently flew over Detroit. Oh my God, it was horrible. And the first thing I turned to my daughter and said, imagine growing food there. Imagine what we could do there. You know, my food's coming from everywhere but the United States. So imagine locally grown food with locally grown economies, and whether you're giving it away to people for pennies on a dollar who can't afford it, or you're growing real high quality gourmet food and selling it for top dollar to people who want to pay for it. That's win, win, and win. And that's the new mindset we as Americans need and must embrace. But cities and municipalities, again, it's very cost efficacious as well. And of course, listen, look, the U.S. Green Building Council, they get it, and they're certifying 2 billion square feet of, you know, space a day. That's unbelievable to sort of think that, you know, using green initiatives to help building performance, which is really the most critical piece of really saving our world from an extraction-based economy to a productive one, when they get that, oh my God. But yeah, look, my kids putting these beautiful walls in NBC and Rockefeller Center, if they weren't generating profit, believe you me, they'd be out and M&Ms would be in. So the fact that people really want to show up to see this stuff, this eco-tourism, is really generating revenues in ways that make dollars and a whole lot of sense. And for this American, that's a si se puede moment. Let's grow this. Let's
So Steve, just to end on a note where we can start to envision what it would look like, what does the green line look like as it goes across the U.S.?
I mean, like, I'd like to see, imagine getting my kicks on Route 66 done green. I think, you know, what Ron's doing is critical. Everybody who's watching, just step outside, put a window box in your window. Imagine that. Everybody, put one little 99-cent plant in your window. You know, a plant in every classroom, a plant in every window. You know, just vote for something that's going to send a positive message. And if you want to farm, listen, I'll be out, you know, right in South Bronx starting this Saturday tilling soil. But I'm just asking for a plant in a window, you know, something small, something measurable. And let's take it from there. But do I have a big vision of a green line across this country? Absolutely. And I believe Edible Schoolyards help, Ron's help, my help, the U.S. Green Building Council. Hell, we've got Green Apple Day of Service coming up on September 28th. Last year we had 1,400 events. This year I'd like to see 14,000. Because really the mommy factor is what drives this. I started my program with overage, undercredited kids who came to me as a last resort. But imagine starting with little seeds, little seedlings, little broccolis, getting kids on the good path from the get-go and not having to undo bad habits. Kids love this. Every kid remembers when they planted that lima bean in kindergarten. You know, I just heard from my best elementary school friend. You know, we were talking about that. Here I am, you know, 50 years later, a couple of 100 pounds up and down, going right back to that critical moment when you do something and you sit there and say, wow, the glory and beauty of planting a seed. And if you plant a seed, it grows. And that's it. We're planting seeds. Seeds of hope, seeds of opportunity, and seeds of change. And that's important because that's what this country needs, and people are really ready for it.
No.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Si se puede. Vámonos.
Viva la America.
Well, I feel like we have come to our time of closing, and I just want to thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for hooking us up.
Hey, Ron, let me ask you, do you guys have a Facebook page yet?
Yeah, well, Green Grounds LA Green Grounds has a Facebook page, and I also have my own Facebook page. I'm also doing the Ron Finley Project. I work also, out of Green Grounds because my vision is a little more expansive, a little more wider than Green Ground. I mean, as one of the founding members, I'm still there, but my vision compared to their scope. I mean, my vision is world domination, like you, from across one coast to the other coast, and then from over the ocean. I want to it's all about world domination with me, and that's what Ted has shown me. People are crying, they're starving for this, and like you said with the seed, I still start my seeds the way I started them in kindergarten, in the petri dish, in the brown paper towel.
It's remarkable, right? It's absolutely remarkable because I do believe that's the one thing I've learned is like, the Green Bronx Machine, this Facebook page took off. That we have 6,500 kids on it. I've never been on it. The kids do it. They're accountable to my wife. I got enough to do during the day, but it's remarkable. So I want to make sure your page connects with mine so we can connect kids and connect adults and Edible Schoolyard. We need to all, share resources and share this. Because I also believe that the more kids are talking about this kind of stuff online instead of some of the counterintuitive and counterproductive stuff online, the more forward collectively our society goes. And that to me is what I'm all about as an educator. It's about reading, writing, math. I don't expect every kid to be a farmer, but I want them to read about it, write about it, do the math, offer outstanding customer service, and be engaged in a proactive manner. So the more I can learn about things to hook kids into, that's why I asked.
I had Alice Waters actually came by last week by my spot, and we had lunch, and that was cool. So she's doing something real big, up in Sacramento. That she's a gangster for real. No, she's a gangster for real.
Doesn't stop.
He's a gangster. It's for Gardner.
Right, exactly. The OG, the original Gardner.
Exactly. Exactly.
She will love to hear that you said that, Ron. I think she'll get a big kick out of it. And she's proof, as you all are, that you just can't stop, and that this is just the beginning, and we need to keep persevering and moving forward. And it's just great to hear that everyone can keep in touch with you through your Facebook pages. And Ron, in particular, please keep us posted on your Facebook page about the Ron Finley projects, because we want to hear about your news coming up. And just to say, another place where everybody can keep in touch is on the Edible Schoolyard Project's website, edibleschoolyard.org, which is another place where we're mapping projects all around the world, including Ron and Steve's, and it's a place to exchange information and share resources and best practices. So we hope that anybody watching will continue to do that and to share in those experiences. And this particular Hangout will be featured on edibleschoolyard.org in the resources section, and of course on YouTube, on the Edible Schoolyard YouTube's page. That's youtube.com/ESY project. And of course, hopefully, Ron and Steve will be sharing on their Facebook pages and elsewhere. So all that to say, sorry, go ahead.
That's the kids' homework tonight, and that's part of it. I get a whole lot of credit for things I don't do, but trust me, I'll make sure the kids get it done, and that's half the battle.
As long as it gets done.
Exactly. Yeah. Get to done.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. It's hopefully
so much
conversation.
Thank you, Kelly. Ron, I love you. You're my hero. Look, everywhere I go, I carry a little shovel thinking of you. I don't do that. You know what, shovel? I got a handheld model just for you. And when you come, I got a brand new Scrabble tie with your name on. I don't know how I got.
Wait, see, I have a hardy. This is what I do a lot of my digging with.
Oh no, I'm not allowed to have that. That's a weapon of mass destruction. It gets caught in the metal detector. I go rubber. I can't get that through the metal detector. You go rubber.
All right, everybody, take care, and thanks again.
Okay,
Best
guys,
of
thank
luck.
you guys.
We'll talk
All right,
soon.
have a great day. You stay quiet there.